Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 103 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, guys?
Okay. I mean, it's a letdown. 103 is a letdown, I feel.
What do you mean it's a letdown?
It's just a letdown. It's 103.
It's a weird number.
Yeah, it is.
Is 105 better or like 110?
Yeah.
Or like
Oh, definitely. 103 is like, you're too
that.
far away from 100. You're not at any milestone. 3 isn't a milestone. It's 103.
We can do that thing that like some podcasts do. We can like do like seasons and like, you know, we can start a new season and start at like 201.
That would be awesome.
That would really throw everything off, I feel like, though.
Oh, at this point, it would be tough. What would it be? It would be season 4?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how we do the seasons, right?
Yeah, I feel like when you have seasons, though, you get canceled, right?
That's true.
Yeah, if we were doing seasons, because it's always like the third season kind of sucks.
Yeah, they don't want to pay us then, and then even though we get nothing anyway, you know, that's 2 zeros and too much, and you know, you start paying us to release podcasts. No one wants to deal with that.
It gets weird. Yeah,
that makes sense. We could do seasons, but it just feels unnecessary. I'm okay with 103. Well, before you know it, we'll be at 110, and you know, we'll do some other stuff. So anyway, all right. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently today. We actually are not
differently.
Gonna do
we're just gonna go back to the way we were doing.
Yeah.
There's enough news for that now.
Yeah, we don't have to do listener questions every time. We listen, we appreciate all the listener questions. We appreciate the work you all put into it. We appreciate you reaching out. It's great. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to talk about the Disney news that's out there, right?
And we still have listener questions for next week. So
Yep.
If we need them, yeah.
I like how you start with the most boring stuff, though. That's always my favorite, when Tom puts things in the most boring order.
What are you talking? It's not the most boring order. We always talk about. This isn't even really DVC news.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even really DVC news.
I thought you just said before we got on the air here that you wanted to talk a while about this.
Hey, I can talk about boring things too. I'm just saying you put the most boring thing first.
Well, after talking about this for what seems like years, it's been years, right? It's been like 2 years since we talking about this Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom Walkway, right? When did they start this project? I don't even remember.
I feel like it was last year, but yeah, it has been a long time coming.
Yeah, this article does say July 2019 is when they first confirmed it, but they were even working on it earlier than that. So I guess it's been a while.
I think this is awesome, though.
Yeah, this is great, right?
It is. I definitely. The funny thing is that, you know, most people don't care about this, I guess, but. Yeah, I see it as... I definitely care, because it's a way to get out of Magic Kingdom that doesn't rely on the monorail or the boat or a bus.
After the fireworks especially, right?
Exactly. Like that's...
Or
that's
can you
huge.
go to the path to see the fireworks?
I don't see
why
why
just
not.
stand on the path?
Yeah, I don't see why not. That's actually not a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it was a big deal, I think, for me. I was like, I don't even have to go to the park to see the fireworks. Like, that might be good.
Yeah,
I wonder, though, if there's going to be, like, path pushers, right? Like, they come along, you can't really just hang out on the path.
Can't just stand here. It seems like a pretty wide path, though. It seems like it wouldn't be. And I mean...
I like the ability to walk places. You know exactly what your time frame is. You know, whether it's longer or shorter than a bus ride or whatever, or a lift, or, you know, since there's no more minivans. It's a distinct amount of time, you know, unless somebody, you know, pulls a muscle or, you know, tweaks an ankle, like, you know, you're going to get there at X. That's great for me. I like that.
I agree. And I think in this case too, like again, thinking about how the monorails and everything operate, you know, people love them because they're convenient, but at the same time, you spend a lot of time waiting, especially when it's busy, is that you're not going to get onto the first vehicle that shows up.
Well, and you don't know when you get there what you're going to get, right? Is there going to be 30 people? Is there going to be 200 people? Is there going to be 500 people? You just don't know the answer to that. And that's what I don't like. And as we had this discussion on the group, I don't like standing. I'd rather walk than stand. I'd rather sit than walk, but I'd rather walk than stand.
No, I mean, that's true. Like, standing really does end up hurting your feet and your body more than walking does, right? Just standing around. It's a lot nicer to just be doing something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels better too, right? Mentally.
Yeah, for sure.
You're progressing.
Yeah. I mean, and I've done the pathway from Hollywood Studios to Boardwalk before, and it's kind of nice. It's a nice little walk.
We've done that as well, yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice walk by the water. It's kind of a nice way to end your night. I mean, it's not great if your feet hurt, but at the same time, you're right, though. Like, not having to wait for the buses, not having to wait for the monorail, not having to deal with that. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, Trevor, are you're a Poly guy, so are you saying you'll walk from Poly to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. I will, I think that's a great way to cap off the night is, when we're done, is like Damon said, you don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to plan for, I got to leave like an hour before close because, the boat will be busy or whatever. It's no, I can leave whenever I want. And there's nothing stopping me from getting back to my room at the same amount of time. Like I figured that honestly, this will be like maybe like, I could see like a 20-minute walk, which isn't bad. Like if you think about the amount of time you spend waiting for lines, like.
And the other thing is too, is that I don't think people always realize this. Right? I'm a numbers guy, so I like to kind of think about it like this. So even if the walk takes you, let's say, what could it possibly take you more than the bus? I mean, 5 minutes, maybe. If you walked right onto the bus and walked right off the bus, right? Let's just say it takes 5 minutes more. But all those times, or monorail, it doesn't even matter what it is, but all those times that you wait 30 minutes, then eat up 6 times of that walk. That's the thing. I get for people that can't walk, this is not necessarily as big of a deal, but I think you end up winning overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like a really nice walk, though, too. It just looks like a pretty walk, I like a good walk with good scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, that whole lake is fantastic. Like walking anywhere around that lake is nice.
No, I totally agree. I think this is great, and so it is now open for those that are wondering. I guess we never even really said that, did we? So the pathway from Grand Floridian, and really Poly too, because you can walk from Poly to Grand Floridian, right? So not that far. It's now open, so you can walk. And by the way, it has its own security station too, I believe.
That would be a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's similar to on the Bay Lake Tower side, right? That the security is on the walkway leading up.
Exactly. Yeah, they have their own little security tent on the walkway leading up. Yeah, which is that's always the thing you talk about with Bay Lake, right? It's like the biggest benefit of Bay Lake Tower is that you can walk to Magic Kingdom. Well, now you can do that too. It's a little bit of a longer walk, I think, but it's not that much longer.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how I slice it, I'm on the opposite end of the lake because that's just where the Poly is. But yeah, just having that as an option, like, if I woke up on a morning and, looked out my window and saw that the TTC boats were really backed up, I would be like, no, I'm going to go this way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just kind of veer off and go do something. Yeah, go do the walk. So I'm excited for this. I saw somebody else say that now they need to make like a walkway from Wilderness Lodge. I feel like that's a little more complicated.
That's a lot further than you think, I think.
It is. Yeah. It's not only is it a lot further than you think, but the bodies of water in between are a lot larger. So I don't think you could walk around it. Just the lake there that it's right on, but I'm not sure how you could do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm just thinking it's a much further distance than you think. So.
Yeah, it would connect from Wilderness Lodge to the Contemporary.
Yeah, that would be the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you said, I think, you have now haunted river country in between there, which I mean, then you're dealing with ghosts and stuff too. I don't think I would do that walk.
Well, I think the bigger problem is that you have a constant, you'd have to build a bridge that's large enough for boats to go under all the time, right?
Yeah, but isn't that what they're saying with this one, that there's going to be a bridge that kind of moves out of the way?
There is, but that little canal that the bridge is over that can open up, it's only used for the, electrical light parade at night. And like, it's not like you have constant boats coming from Wilderness Lodge to Magic Kingdom for transportation's sake. This would just be like once or twice a night.
Yeah, that's why you have the walkway underneath the lake canal, right? Like they actually ran the road underneath
the water bridge.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too, is that you couldn't make another path. You would have to actually connect back to that path to make a walkway from Wilderness Lodge to Contemporary.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to like figure out how long of a distance this would be. I'm sure somebody's measured out how long this walk is from Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom, but I don't see it anywhere. I'm sure somebody figured it out though, right?
Yeah,
somebody had to. But anyway, I think this is great. I'm excited for it. I mean, I haven't stayed at Grand Floridian, but I have stayed at Poly. But we would definitely do the walk. Like I said, we did the walk at Boardwalk, and it was nice. Well, because, especially we tried to take the bus, but there was a long line. It was after fireworks, it was crazy.
Yeah. The funny thing is that, this also speaks to, the general mentality of things, right? The first thought is, well, where's the bus, right? And, to get away from that, to be able to think, well, I have 4 different options to get somewhere. I like that presented as an opportunity. I think that's a selling point. For, people say, well, what do you mean walking is a selling point? It's not that, telling me to walk is, what I want, but giving me the option or, making sure that things are connected in such a way that you can choose, I think is very important.
Yeah, no, I agree. Cool. So anything else you guys want to discuss about this walkway? I know that was like a ridiculously long thing to talk about based on a walkway, but
and just so everyone knows, Tom was like, I don't know if we're going to have enough about the walkway to talk about. Yeah, we had enough to talk about.
Of course, we're excited for the walkway. So
yeah, it's great.
Well, we just have talked about it before, right? So that's the only reason.
Now your whole system's screwed up. Because it's not ad time. Gosh,
it's not. It's not ad time. No, but do you want to do your gift guide now, or you want to save that for later?
So early, I'm not even prepared. But sure, let's talk about the Star Wars game first, though.
Wait, what Star Wars game is this?
The one on Oculus?
Yes.
Oh, that one that we talked about a while ago. Is that the one where you can go to Galaxy's Edge?
Yes. It came out yesterday. What day is today? Today's Sunday. It must have come out Friday. So it's Tales from Galaxy's Edge. Dude, it's cool. It's really, really, really cool. So we have a regular Quest. We don't have the Quest 2. I'm sure it's even cooler on the Quest 2. But it's really neat. So, you kind of, again, I don't ruin anything, but you're on a starship to start, and, there's people trying to kill you, of course, because why wouldn't they be? And it's
because there's always people trying to kill you in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's the squiddy face people, whatever their names are. And
I don't even care what they're called now. I think they should be called squiddy face people.
And it's really neat. So you start out, you're kind of on the ship. You have to figure out what to do. You have tools at your disposal, but you also have laser guns. You have, all sorts of things. So first thing you got to do is you got to scan some cargo crates. You gotta repair some stuff, and then you're boarded by pirates. You gotta fight to the escape pod, and then there's a hover pack. Dude, it's really, really cool. You get to go to Cantina, and the graphics are awesome. I think it's one of those games where if you don't spoil it, it's way better, even though that means that you have to kind of be, I don't think frustrated is a good word, but you definitely have to find your way around. But it's well done. With a lot of the new Oculus updates, I mean, the hand movement and tracking is really good. You can do the teleport mode instead of, using the joysticks to walk if you want, which is, I don't know why I selected that, but that's what I did. I probably would have selected walk if I did it again. It's really, really cool. Again, it makes my feelings hurt for things that are in the park. So, my son, my 14-year-old, played it as well, and it's kind of Void, yeah, okay. Now Void is nothing. Yes, do you have a blaster you're holding in your hand? No. But I'll tell you, the Oculus joysticks in your hand are pretty good. in terms of feeling like what they are. And the other thing is that the ability to kind of take your time and do things. Listen, Void is cool because you're walking, but is it really cool because you're walking? I don't know. And like a little bit of the haptic feedback in your chest. I think this, minus those two things, is far superior. And it's more of a story-ish thing. You know, you're a little bit less forced into the timing of what you're doing. Like the Void is, you know, X amount of time, and then you're
it's
out.
on rails is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a ride, right? Like you can't.
Yeah.
deviate.
I mean, this is not like listen, this is not like playing GTA, Star Wars, right?
No.
In Oculus, but it's a little bit more than the Void. Again, you're missing the haptic feedback from the chest, and you are missing the walking. But other than that, it's really, really cool, I have to say. And it was $24. We're not done with it yet. We just got it Friday. But the thing that it does for me is it makes me think about Flight of Passage and go, ugh, like even more than I did before. Like I told you, these things are like, you know, games. Like, is it make me think about Millennium Falcon Ride, Smuggler's Cove, and go, ugh, yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Like, I'd rather do this than those. That has a little bit, of you sitting down and getting shook? Yeah, but this is immersive. This is immersive beyond those two rides. This is truly immersive because it's blurring the line so much these days of, you know, you can look around and see everything. You can interact with a lot more things than you think. And I think that's always been the knock on older VR, you know, besides the graphic quality, is your interaction level. This with these controllers it's nice. It's nice. It was really fun. Really, really fun. Well worth it to kind of, you know, for something if you have an Oculus. And honestly, the Oculus 2 is so cheap now. If you're a Star Wars person, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And it looks like
is that on your holiday gift guide?
It could be. The Oculus 2 is a little tough because, like I said, I already have the Quest. I'm saying the Quest 2 because I already have the Quest 1. I don't know if I'd upgrade. I think that if I was unable to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One S, I probably would have upgraded just because. But now that I did get those, I kind of feel like I'm going to continue with the regular Quest. But yeah, I mean, for the price for $299, it is linked to Facebook. That's, you know, people's knock on it. But other than that, it's really fun. I tell you, outside of that, the one thing I did do is there's a Jurassic Park walkthrough. And it's amazing on the Quest. I actually was also watching Netflix because, again, if you don't have this huge screen, you can log into the Quest. And listen, the Quest graphic quality is not that it's the same as watching a projection screen, but it's kind of neat, you know, put you in this room and it's kind of like a lodge and you can watch on the big screen your Netflix stuff. It's a nice little device for sure.
Yeah. For people, even if you don't have a large VR space, yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of fun applications for things like the Quest. My only comment, I know that, you know, obviously the Star Wars thing, they're pushing it hard on the Quest right now. I just hope that there is other VR platforms out there.
I hope it doesn't go anywhere, Trevor.
Really? I hope it does because I have I have a Valve Index coming for Christmas, so I hope it at least lands over there.
Yeah, it's worth. I would say even at the $299 price point plus the $24, especially since there's going to be a part 2, it's almost worth the price of admission just for that.
It's a good entry level for VR, I think.
Yeah.
You're right. The Oculus is definitely, it's in a good place for, you know.
Because $299 is not a game breaker.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like you said, you know, comparing it to like a PS5 or something like that, it is a cheaper option and does give you access to some cool stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is for any of the VR stuff, you have to be able to game and then you have to be able to want to just do interactive things. If you're on board with both, there's like you can walk through museums, there's YouTube VR, there's a lot of different things that you can do in terms of just kind of walking around. Again, the Quest 1 is graphic quality not anywhere close to what the Quest 2 is or some of the other ones that are attached to a computer. But again, the price point is nice and low. And I'll tell you, I like it better because we use it in our loft. I just leave it in front of the TV. I don't have to have any other connections. That's a win for me. It just wouldn't get used as much if I had to start plugging stuff in and turning other stuff on.
Right.
Battery life stinks though.
I did hear that there is some 3D videos on YouTube of Disney World as well, if you're interested in exploring that kind of stuff.
I'll have to look. I'll definitely have to look. I mean, there is a library of tons of really cool stuff, some scary stuff, some underwater stuff. There's all sorts of neat things in general for VR these days. All right. So that takes care of that.
Does that take care of your holiday gift guide too?
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I'm going to leave that out there for the gift guide. I think we're getting to the point where, Black Friday, what are we really buying? Again, I bought a lot of clothes. I think some of the high-end clothes will be on sale. I'm waiting for a few things. Metal birds is actually one of the things I'm waiting to see if they go on sale. They're a good gift for, I don't know, people that are kind of outdoorsy. What it is, it's a metal cutout of a bird, right? Multiple types of birds that you kind of just put on a tree, right? And because it's metal, it kind of weathers, gets a patina. Like, they're really cool looking. I think that's something I'll be getting for my parents as well. I think that's a good one. Just to kind of, if you have one of those sort of people that you're unsure about what to get them, you don't want to spend a ton of money. It's kind of a good look. So check them out.
Cool. I haven't done any holiday shopping yet.
That's absolutely terrible. I'm actually done besides a few things that I'm looking for Black Friday. Actually, an arcade. Trying to buy an arcade. Don't want to build one, so I'm trying to buy one. I think that's going to be a Friday purchase. But most of this stuff I've already gotten. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done as of Tuesday. So we have one last trip out to Costco for a couple of things, and then we're done with Christmas shopping. So Tom, get on it.
Yeah,
The problem with Christmas shopping late this year is you can't really go out to a ton of places.
Yeah.
And the other problem I have with shopping late is, right, it's this big balance of getting what you want versus getting things cheap. Like last year I bought an artificial Christmas tree, right? But I bought a top of the line one and it was December 3rd, 4th, somewhere around there, right? So it didn't come that long before Christmas and it was broken, so I had to send it back. But when it came, it still was here before Christmas and it was $4.99. No, not even. I think it was $4.49, somewhere around there, right? That same tree right now is $1,299. So there's this balancing point between getting what you want early versus getting what you maybe don't want a little bit later. And I think everyone has their own threshold for that. I like to get what I want. Like the jacket that I got for my son. I knew exactly what I wanted. It was coming from England. It's this company called Jacket with an I instead of an E, right? It's some urban streetwear-y type stuff. I knew what I wanted, and they're kind of like, look, we're going to sell out before Black Friday. So if you think you're waiting till then, yeah, good luck for you. Maybe, maybe not. And they had already sold out on most of the sizes, and I needed an extra large for him. So I was like, am I chancing it? I can't, right? So I ended up buying it. But there are some things, like I said, like an arcade. I don't even know if it'll go on sale Black Friday, but if it doesn't, then it's the same price it was before. But I know they're building arcades, right? Always. So I'm not worried about that. It's definitely a balancing act of where you land in the spectrum.
I agree with you, Damon. Now, I guess for us, we actually start our Christmas shopping in like September.
Yeah, that's about when I do as well. Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same kind of things. There's a lot of things and I think, further to what you're saying is, specifically if you're looking at electronics or video games or anything like that, chancing it until Black Friday, in my opinion, is not a good thing. Cause now it is easier now that a lot of things are digital, but I remember like years ago, whatever the hot item was that season, it was like, forget it.
I was pretty lucky with the kids growing up because since I was so involved in toys, I would just get everything for free sent to us. And like
demo stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It was never a problem. Like if it was a toy, not electronics, but if it was a toy and it was from any of the big companies or even any of the small companies, it was never an issue. I'm kind of glad I was able to ride that out. So it never became an issue for getting like a Tickle Me Elmo. No, I already had one, right? For a while. Like that stuff was easy, but now with electronics, it's a crapshoot. Like the big thing that I did that I knew going in and I was able to do, which maybe not everyone is, but I bought the PlayStation bundle on the first day because I knew buying a bundle was going to be way easier to get. Because, people don't necessarily want to buy the bundle. The same thing with the Xbox. I bought the bundle. Do I have this stupid Xbox $120 super controller? Yup. but it was easy, right? Cause I knew like I didn't have to like go in a crazy queue or anything. I just logged in to GameStop and it was like, oh, everyone's trying for the ones without the bundle. Click the bundle, check out. Okay, I'm done. And that was it. And then walked away. It wasn't hard. So those are always good things. I know GameStop does have some more. I know they just released some bundles and they might release bundles on Black Friday, but that's the way to go if you can do it. Cause there's the resale on the PlayStation 5 is crazy. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my delay has more to do with we don't know what we're buying for people at this point. So
see, I keep a list throughout the year on my desktop. And then when I see stuff like that pops up via Facebook or via this or via that, like I do that. And then I do research. Like one of the things that was difficult, like I said, for me to do this year was I thought it would be really cool to get my son custom swim caps, right? Since he's a swimmer. And he, you need the real ones, right? The silicone ones, don't want to get latex, and to go out there and find somebody willing to do a lower amount, because a lot of the places will do 100 for a team, right? Like that's a lot of money at $8. I almost spent $800 on swim caps, right? So I found somebody in Florida that was willing to do them for 25 of them for $6 each, which isn't crazy, honestly, for silicone caps. So we ended up doing that, but that took a while in the process. There's a lot of work to be done, and you can't do that last minute because these people aren't going to do custom stuff last minute. So, I start as early as possible and just keep notes. And I want to say that probably out of the notes that I keep throughout the year, we probably only purchase half of the stuff because some of the stuff is just garbage. You come to find out some of the stuff is just too expensive. Some stuff you just can't get. So that's kind of what I do throughout the year. So it never sneaks up on me. I like kind of keeping that, and I keep it in an Excel spreadsheet on my desktop.
Yeah, we do it similarly. We don't use an Excel spreadsheet. My wife and I actually have we have a shared a Google Keep, which is like a notepad.
Yeah,
and we'll kind of bounce back and forth on there. And then this year our son wanted a custom lightsaber, so not the cheapo ones, but like a good lightsaber. And yeah, same thing as we kind of started looking into it, and then we realized that price point, people are doing some good stuff. It's just it didn't make sense for our budget this year.
Of course.
So, yeah.
And the only reason I don't do that is because I try to keep everything hidden from everyone, including my wife, wherever possible, right? So like, I try to, make it a surprise for everyone, which she absolutely hates, by the way. So I used to keep an Excel spreadsheet that was password protected, but this year, because just everything's been a little bit crazier, I've kind of shared a few more of my ideas. I think what it is that I'm so proud of my ideas that I want everyone to be surprised. Like, dude, that Gravity Falls drawing that I had printed out came out crazy good, right? Like, I want everyone to be surprised. Or my son, he's does hip hop. So they make, acrylic sound waves of the song, right? So you send them the link to the song and they make this cool acrylic sound wave of the song. Like I did stuff like that. My oldest, I took all his cleats from growing up from soccer and then took a picture and had that done. So a lot of the things, I try to make for everybody kind of a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, man, you got to be on holiday stuff all the time. Regularly. Tom, you got to get your game up, especially because you have a kid now. You can't last minute that stuff.
Well, the problem with my kid is that my family buys so much stuff for her, like already, that it's like I'm out of space already for stuff. Like, I need to start getting rid of things.
But because, so your daughter's age, track down one of the, artists on Etsy to have them draw a picture of your daughter in Cinderella gear with the castle behind it, like stuff like that.
She's not going to appreciate that at 2.5 years old. But
it doesn't matter if they appreciate it at 2.5. That's the whole point, right? You give it to her at 2.5. It's cool. Well, no, not really. And then she keeps it up in her room when she's 5.
Yeah.
Like you always gotta be looking. Yeah.
My son has a lot of artwork in his room that's like that. It's, stuff that we've, gone out of our way to find. And like, even when he was a lot younger, now it's kind of part of his room and it's part of him. Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Sure. Listen, I don't disagree. I feel like Christmas kind of snuck up on us this year, and
how the heck did Christmas sneak up this year?
I don't know. It just did.
To be fair,
opposite. I feel like
I actually get what Tom's saying, because I kind of realized like last week that it was November,
Yeah.
And it was it
But
was
does
like
it sneak up on you if you're already done with shopping, Trevor? Not really, right?
No, because, well, no, yeah, like I said, because we're always like in September, we're already doing that. So I'm already past like the stress of shopping and everything. But just the concept of like, oh, we're hitting the end of the year here. It did come up really fast this year.
Yeah, that part I'll give you. But yeah, Christmas itself, like I said, was pretty easy. Custom ornaments. I'm trying to help Tom out here because like I'm upset for him. Like, I'm upset for his family that he hasn't completed Christmas shopping, or at least like halfway through it at this point.
No, I mean, I don't think I've bought a single thing yet for.
Yeah, and the problem is custom stuff, like cool stuff, like stuff you'd find on Etsy. Like, dude, you're done. Like that stuff is over with. Like, I've loved Etsy lately, just because, you know, like when you just have time and you're sitting around. Like, I got my daughter a custom cookbook on Etsy. Like, there's some just really, really awesome stuff, but it is an investment. You cannot sit down one day and go, oh, I'm going to go look at stuff on Etsy. It's like a whole year project. And you just put the stuff in your thing and, you know, you go, oh, like there was a few things last year that I loved on Etsy, but I was like, I pulled the Tom and I was like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. Let me order my stuff on Etsy. No, because it takes a month. Sorry, you're out of luck. So yeah.
So if this helps, start, you know, when I mentioned Canadian Thanksgiving, that's when you should be thinking about this.
There you go.
Listen, I'll get everything done in time. I know I will.
But it's not. I mean, it's not going to be up to Trevor and our levels of coolness. Sorry, Tom.
Probably not.
No.
Although last year I got my sister a picture of her dog dressed like in like old timey clothes. Like, have you seen those?
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah. Those are pretty cool.
That was the highlight of Christmas. That was like the only good idea I had all of last year. And
but you listen. You have your own family now, man. That's you got to be putting that effort to your daughter and your wife, not your sister. Sorry to say.
We don't. My wife and I don't even really exchange gifts anymore at this point.
Oh my God. I have to log off. I'm done.
We're just not. No, but like neither one of us care. Like, she doesn't give me anything. I don't give her. I mean, like, we'll do a small thing, but we're just not really that into that. So I mean, it's just not that much of a thing for us.
For those that are listening and not seeing this, Damon has just muted himself, and I think he's walking away.
But listen, it's just our preference. It's just you know how we are. I mean, it's not like you know. It's just not a big thing for us, honestly.
And you know, honestly, you know, my wife and I have gone through years with those kind of phases as well, right? Where, you know, I think for us at least, it has come and gone. Like we've been together for, oh gosh, we've been married for, I'm going to get this wrong and she's going to yell at me when she listens to the podcast. It's like 18 years or something like that now, but we've been together for like 25 years. And yeah, at various points we've gone through phases where, you know, things like Christmas haven't mattered as much, but then, you know, it does kind of it does come back around. And, you know, sometimes it's like, it hits a point where it's not even about, getting, like, we're not exchanging gifts, but it's just, you know, if I find something, I'm like, yeah, she would really like that. That's just kind of what that. We do. Yeah, and like, and yeah, it's not caring so much about the whole reciprocating thing. It's just I'm doing it because, you know, I found this thing, and you know, I know it's out of left field, and I know she would enjoy it. And I'm not going to talk too much about what I did for her this year because, again, she listens to this, and I don't want to spoil it. So sorry, honey, you're not getting any hints.
We've been talking about Christmas gifts for quite a while. We're halfway through here, so we should probably do our ad, and then we maybe can go back to talking about some of the Disney news that we have, because we have a lot. So maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to offend Damon. I apologize that, you know, this is just how my wife and I operate. We're just not, you know, we'll give each other stuff when we find stuff. It's not that big of a deal to us. So anyway. So this week it's for DVC Rental Store. You know, our friends over there. Are you a frequent Disney visitor and want to save hundreds, even thousands on your next Disney trip? The DVC Rental Store wants to help you book your dream vacation for less. Currently, the DVC Rental Store has a great selection of confirmed reservations at many of Disney's most premium resorts, saving you over 60% off retail rates. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 1-855-382-7368. Of course, let them know that Welcome Home sent you. Very important that you let them know, whether you call or you go on their website, that Welcome Home sent you, that you heard about them from us. That's really important. So, again, that's dvcrentalstore.com or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. All right. So...
Are we getting back on track now?
Yeah, let's do that. Now that Damon's left the show and is thoroughly disgusted with my
your lack of Christmas planning.
It always works out every year. I mean, it's not like we haven't. I actually do usually shop earlier than this, but it just, like I said, it kind of snuck up on me. I don't know what happened. So we're gonna figure some stuff out. My wife and I are gonna sit down. Probably today and figure out what we're going to get for everybody. So it's tough. It's tough to figure out what to get for people, you know?
It is. And again, this is why Damon and I were saying we start back in September. So.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we started talking about it back then. We just didn't come to any conclusions and figure anything out. So,
well, I wish you the best of luck because this week is going to be crazy.
It'll be all right.
All right.
It'll be okay. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
So some of the Disney stuff we have. So I have to laugh because, we've been talking about Space 220 for like ever now. I feel like just because we've been joking about it never opening, but Disney shared a picture of the inside of it. So it exists. It's a real thing. And a sign went up. They actually put up a sign.
Yeah. So, maybe we'll see this in the next year. Is that,
gosh.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they didn't tell us, right? They showed a picture, they talked about it, but they didn't tell us when it's going to open still.
Yeah, I am not expecting anything until like early next year, honestly. The video, I mean, it kind of lines up with the concept art that we saw. It looks, I definitely want a window seat.
I think everybody's going to want the window seats, right?
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I guess the problem is there actually a video here? I'm just looking.
No, it's just a picture. There's just a picture. Yeah, right. I don't think they actually showed a video. I think they just showed a picture.
Yeah,
which doesn't show much, honestly. It just shows us that it exists.
Yeah, and I guess my thing with this is that I hope that however they're doing this, that it doesn't look cheesy. I'm just looking at a still picture of it. I'm going, okay, yeah, they're showing like. The Earth, but
I don't think it's going to be cheesy.
Yeah, I hope the effect, is sold well enough because I really want this to be a cool restaurant that I want to, go back to. But then, the other side of it too is the food because, it's,
all right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I had to walk that off. That made me very upset. It made me upset.
Sorry.
I had to walk that one off.
Well, probably good because we're about to talk about the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, and I know you had some thoughts about this. So,
I don't know how to feel.
So we got our first look inside the actual hotel rooms because the actual hotel rooms look like they're complete. They're actually done.
Well, I mean, we don't know if all of them are done, right? We know at least one of them's done.
Well, yeah, one of them is done. Well, one of the articles I read said the main hotel part is done. Like the actual rooms are done. It's all the other stuff.
It seems like there's going to be there's two room styles, right? That, and then there's like two super rich people rooms, right? Something along those lines, if I remember.
Yeah, this one looks like it has like maybe a queen bed in it, and then it has like almost bunk beds, but they're like pods.
Yeah, so this, I'm torn a little bit. It's very cruise-like. And I don't want to say that that's a bad thing, but I can tell you that I am not the sort of person that stays on a cruise without a veranda. I just don't love it. I mean,
you don't love like the inside cabin thing. You like to be able to step out into the
world. Yeah, I mean, and even if I never opened the door, I like seeing stuff, right? Like I like seeing the ocean. I like seeing air per se, right? I like seeing a lot of things. This feels a little claustrophobic to me now. Does it feel claustrophobic enough that I wouldn't do it? Absolutely not. I still would do it. What I'm more concerned about are these pods that the kids will sleep in.
They look tiny. So honestly,
my son is over 6 foot. He's 14. Like don't think he's sleeping in one of them. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think so. Maybe he does, but I don't know. So I'm worried about that a little bit. I'm not necessarily worried about the size of it. I mean, and I'm not worried about the price when it comes. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm worried about the claustrophobic factor. The other thing is too, I'm hopeful, and we don't know any of this yet, that we're gonna be in Galaxy's Edge at least once. What did they say it was? Is it 2 nights, 3 days, something like that?
Yeah, it's 2 nights, 3 days. So
Okay.
I'm assuming at least 2 of the days you're going to be in Galaxy's Edge. I'm guessing.
I'm hopeful. And what does that mean though? So that means they're closing down Galaxy's Edge early, is my guess. Each night, like
sure.
so this is going to be a big part of it. If you're telling me I'm in Galaxy's Edge with all the rest of the schlububs that aren't at my hotel, I'm not as interested anymore. I'll be honest with you. I'm just not as interested now. If you tell me I have to get up at 6 a.m. to go to Galaxy's Edge to be there by myself, I'm okay with that. I'm hoping that they do an hour or two a day that exists outside the actual regular park hours, or that every third day or 2 days, whatever, however it works, that they'll, knock an hour off for people for, that area. I'm almost thinking like they could do it like a Harry Potter where they could section that off. So not that they're closing Hollywood Studios per se, but that they're closing just Galaxy's Edge, right? They do have it set up like that.
They do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would assume you're right. I would think that maybe they open it like an hour later that morning and then like close it an hour earlier,
something along those lines. And I think I'm good with that. Like I said, I think the theme's really good. It's going to be tough to have no sun though. It's weird.
It's weird to be completely enclosed is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's weird to be staring at a screen. So you know that they do this on cruises too. So on the Disney cruises, they do have the inside rooms that have a porthole with a screen. But, to make it feel better.
With a screen with that shows the outside view of the ship.
I don't know if it does that. I know that it shows Dory and stuff like that, right? TV screens aren't there yet. So I don't know. I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little worried about that, but I think I could get through that. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're that close. The only thing that I'm starting to worry about is that I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be open too soon.
What do you mean open?
For me to feel comfortable.
Pandemic wise, that you're not going to be able to go.
Yeah. I want to be when they open it up for people, I'm signing up, I'm in. I'm just hoping that it's, not something that's opened. I don't know. I don't think I'm still going in June. I'll be honest with you. I just don't see that yet. I think the next time that I'll be going will probably be next Thanksgiving if all goes according to plan, right? And then the thing is, if I go and do that for a few days before, man, people I go with are going to be salty.
So wait, if you're just gonna tie this into a larger trip, right? Where you're gonna have this be the first couple of days,
Yep, and I'm gonna have some salty people. That's the problem.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
I don't think this looks too small to me personally. I think it's always can be deceptive in pictures too. How big a room looks. You're right though. It doesn't look huge, right? It doesn't look like the size of a DVC room. But, and I don't know about those pods either. I mean, maybe they're larger than we think they are.
So looking at the picture from the outside versus the inside, there is a bit of a lip. So from the outside, they do look a little bit smaller. There is definitely a little bit more space in there. And I'm trying to line it up with how long the pod is versus how long the bed is.
I was doing the same thing because the opening the bed is bigger than the opening, right?
Yeah.
So the bed goes beyond the opening a little bit.
So let's just say that the opening though it doesn't look like it's going to go any further, and it's curved too to make it even smaller.
Yeah.
That's going to be brutal if you're a tall person. Think about it. My middle kid, he's 14, he's over 6 foot, but that's not all that abnormal, right? He's got friends that are 6'4", 6'5". What are they doing?
Yeah, this is the same problem. My uncle had this problem when he rented an RV that, the bed was set up in such a way that it only had a finite amount of room. It wasn't with the normal bed there, your feet can hang off the edge of the bed. It's not comfortable, but you can go beyond the length of the bed.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I like my feet hanging off the edge of the bed, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
but this you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, this is a problem. Is that if you're too tall, like you know, your head and your feet are hitting both sides, and that's it. So
sleeping in the fetal position,
and that's what this is. That's what this kind of looks like. I mean, the only thing is, it looks like that when we're going, I'm going with my two sons and myself. Right? I'm smaller than them. I'm smaller than my oldest by a little bit.
So you're going to sleep in the pod?
I'll sleep in the pod, I guess. I mean, if that's what it comes down to, like in theory, I could sleep in the pod. They could both sleep on the bed. Because that's normally what happens on vacation. Like they're good like that. Like they'll just, if there's a queen bed, all right, they're just sleeping.
Yeah.
Right. And it is what it is. So if I have to go in the pod, I'm 5'11". I guess that works. I hope. Right.
I think you'd fit in the, I think 5'11". You'd fit in the pod, that, you know, that height.
I hope so.
I think the pods look kind of cool. I kind of want to sleep in the pod.
It's just like I said, it is going to be interesting. The other part of it with the screen is just, I'm feeling like
it does feel a little. Yeah, you already said it's claustrophobic, right?
It kind of is.
You can't open a window. You can't go anywhere. It does feel like a box.
Mm-hmm. Is it claustrophobic though if you can like walk down into the lobby and there's stuff going on? Like you can get out of the room.
Well, yeah, okay, but you're still inside.
Yeah, no, you're still inside. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also the matter of, you know, honestly, I like my privacy too, and, you know, being able to go out on a balcony, kind of like what Damon said, you know, there is something to be said for having that private space.
Yeah, and remember, you know, being claustrophobic is 100% mental, right? So being a human being, when you realize, okay, so I stepped out of my room, but there's still no fresh air, it's not the same as going on a cruise ship and going on deck and having the wind whip you in the face. There's a difference there. So I'm still going to go. Again, the only thing that's going to stop me from going is going to be when they open, and that's just, and how quickly it fills up. I'm going to be a little bit more limited in when I can go because my oldest will be a senior, and this seems like it's going to be open around soccer season, and that's not going to work too well for us. So that will be the only thing that will stop me. And I want to go. This is the thing actually I was thinking about, and I'm glad that this discussion has gone on long enough that I remembered it again. The biggest thing about going to Harry Potter and being there at Universal for the first day that it opened was all the things that don't get changed because people are jerks, okay?
Because people ruin them is what you're saying.
People ruin them. Mm-hmm. So the fact that when we rode the Harry Potter ride that I could have reached out and grabbed a Dementor and pulled it into the ride with me was really awesome. Like it was that close. And then they since changed that because people ruined it by touching the stuff, even though you're not supposed to, right? There was a lot of things that changed. And that's what usually happens a lot. It's not like things change and they're usually for the cooler. It's usually they change because, you know, the Imagineers were like, oh, I can't believe these guys did this. Or, hey, it costs way too much money to fix that. Things along those lines. Like, those pillows are really cool. Well, how long do they stay in before, 30 people steal them?
Oh, those are going to get stolen, right?
Yeah, right. Sure. So that's the thing. I want to go before everything gets ruined by other people. So that's my big thing. Because that will happen. I guarantee it. It's going to happen.
It was like the cool, like, what were the cool forks that they had at Galaxy's Edge when it opened, right? And then people started stealing those, and then they, ended up on eBay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so Disney had to stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to get ruined, right? I mean,
so that's why I want to be there. I feel like the first year is where I want to be. I feel like they evaluate things. Especially like that, be outside of forks and stuff, right? I think that it takes them a while to reevaluate things for a little while. So maybe even the first 6 months, that's where I'd like to be there. Now, will cooler things happen in the future? Sure, but I can always go back. But when things get taken away, they're gone. Like, think about all the poor souls that have never been on Ellen. I mean, they'll never experience Ellen. That's just like a travesty in and of itself. So I want to make sure I'm there.
I'm just thinking for, just talking about going back to the Galaxy's Edge thing. I feel like they have to have it shut down, right? Like they can't just have regular people walking around for the immersion factor. And I would assume that they're going to fill it with like actors, right? With people like
Maybe small areas. I don't know about the whole thing. You might be. Remember, it's.
I'm not talking about hundreds of people. Yeah, I'm talking like 50.
I think what will happen is that they're going to section it off rather well. Like it's going to be like on rails, right? As we would say, as we were talking about the other game. Yeah. It's going to be like on rails. So they're going to have actors moving with you. I don't necessarily think the biggest thing is, do you have to bring clothes or are they giving you robes? Like that is still the question that I want answered. What does that mean? Do I show up with, whatever and I have to wear a robe all the time? That would be awesome. But see, again, that will get ruined even if that's the case, because that sounds really great. And then there'll be people that don't want to feel like they can't. And then it will be like, no, just wear your regular Earth clothes. It will be fine. Like I want to get there before all that.
I get you. I would think they would provide that stuff for the price you're paying. I feel like they provide it.
But like what Damon's saying is there will always be that person that goes, no, I don't want to, be that immersed. I still want to walk around in my, touristy clothes. You're very obviously like, I'm here at Disney kind of stuff, which just totally breaks the immersion.
I want to wear my Mickey ears.
Yeah. Right. Like, like don't.
I will shoot them off with a blaster. I will use my fake lightsaber and just smack them off your head. Like I want to be that guy.
And then that's where these things will get taken away, is they'll stop getting the lightsabers because Damon hit someone's Mickey ears.
Of course, exactly.
I almost wonder if they're going to make you though agree to stuff before you go. Like if there's going to be a lengthy this is what's going to happen. You got to wear this thing. You got to do this thing.
There will always be somebody that will fight it though.
I don't think they're going to do that. Everything's a recommendation. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, I think if you act the fool, you'll get banned from from ever going back again. But that doesn't necessarily not ruin my experience.
I just think that they should put them in the jail that they've built on the ship, and instead of kicking them out,
you spend the whole 3 days in the jail. And
yeah, exactly. Keep it within the story.
People would want their money back. Like that's always the problem. You've paid so much, people are entitled. So again, I'm just trying to get there early, because the other thing that will happen too is that people that are looking for something new to do at Disney might do this 4 years from now. But Star Wars fans will be doing it for the first year, and Star Wars fans want to be immersed. This is why they're there.
Yeah.
So I think the first year, that's my window, is the first year, first 6 months if possible, but first year definitely.
Well, and as far as we've seen here, like they really haven't slowed down in construction like they have with other things. It looks like there's still going to be you're still going to be able to do a reservation before the end of the year. That's what they had said, but by the end of the year,
and that doesn't make me feel happy. I don't like that, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, they could have you doing reservations 9 months out.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't see them being like, opening even like
3 months from now.
Yeah, 3 months or.
I wonder what we're going to have to put down.
What kind of deposit they'll make you put down? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to find out soon. I mean, the next couple of weeks here, right? So
I just book it? Like, that's the question. The problem is that, again, I don't know if I can pull my kids out of school next year. He'll be a senior. That's super duper tough.
You just have to call the school. Sorry, Star Wars. Gotta pull them out.
Well, and then the other thing is too, like I said, soccer, if everything goes according to plan, won't end next year until November. So I'm thinking maybe I do it right before Thanksgiving. I'm going to go in and try to book it like right before Thanksgiving. If that's possible, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to shoot for that week, man. Just book it up.
Yeah. Best of luck to you, man.
Well,
and the website crashes, and
I'll be on there day one. I think it's going to be prohibitive money wise. Have they even announced what it's going to be? Still, yeah.
No. I mean, there's only rumors. We don't know the actual.
I think it's going to be prohibitive enough that people aren't just like winging it, and then other people that are true Star Wars people aren't going to want to wait till November. I think if that window goes to November, maybe. I would even take a ride down there. Could I do a Friday? 3 days is tough because we don't even know what the schedule is going to be like. It's right. There's going to be an actual schedule. So we don't know when that starts. And 3 days isn't 7 days. So the problem is that there are 3 days, 3 days, one clean day. If that's the case, then at least you kind of get the same understanding. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the map. They're going to have to do something like that because I can't imagine that it's just going to continue every 3 days repetitively. I think that would be too difficult to plan things around.
There needs to be a reset. day.
Because
I would bet there's a reset day in between the 3
yeah,
days, right?
because you're going to want to do like a Star Wars Galaxy is, these 3 days it closes early. Then, these every week it's the same, 6 days or 3 days or, we also don't know if they pull 3 days a week and that's it. We have no idea. It might be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of 1 week. And then everything else is cleaning up and getting back and this, that, and the other thing. We have no idea.
Yeah, they may. Yeah, because if they try to do 2 runs of it in a week, that if there's a reset day in between, that's actually 8 days.
Yeah, and that's where the problem's going to be. Unless, and the only thing is, Trevor, unless the first day, this is going to make people really mad, but the first day is a check-in 4, they leave at 11.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out these details soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh, we're talking about this dumb ride now next? Is that what's next?
I thought you were more
Ellen
positive on it now.
and things that replaced Ellen.
No, dude, this looks bad. This is Time Traveler. Like, this has already been done. I'm very disappointed. So what they've done is they've shown us now the building for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Only part of it.
Only part of what?
There's only one section they showed in the picture. I mean, you're not seeing the
in
whole
the video.
That pretty much sums up what
Yeah.
It looks
Did
like.
you see the
inside
video,
Space
Tom?
Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the video of them testing the ride vehicles, but again,
Okay.
it's different. That ride you're talking about it just kind of swings freely. This is like they're tilting you in specific directions. It goes 360. It's a different thing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It is though. No, it is. It's complete. Like you're talking about. This is. They have control of this, right? So they're going to point you in specific directions at specific times. What?
What does that mean?
Well, because there's going to be screens all around this track, right? So it's going to be making you look like you're going faster than you are, but then there's going to be, story elements that are going on while you're riding it. It's basically a roller coaster with the Haunted Mansion ride system thrown on top of it.
Which sounds terrible. Like, do something new.
That is new.
That's not
That is
new.
completely new.
You literally just explained it by comparing it to 2 rides.
Well, yeah, because
that's not new.
You're combining 2 different ride systems. It's a whole different
Dude,
thing.
they do this at Universal already. Like, they already do this. Like, you guys haven't been to Universal in a while, right?
No.
They already do this. Like, with screens and stuff, they already do this. I mean, this is Spider-Man, then. Is that what you're saying this is? This is Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man does this.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to that, sure, yeah.
Okay.
But this is a
This
roller
is
coaster.
a huge disappointment that I would consider Spider-Man a roller coaster as well, even though it's kind of not. I kind of do. This is a huge disappointment that they couldn't come up with something better than this for a roller coaster. Like, something cooler than this. Like, remember when we thought that you were going to be able to stand up in it? And it was like,
that's
all the cool things that were going to happen. This is a huge letdown. This is nothing. I mean, this is truly nothing.
I totally disagree. I think this is extraordinarily cool. I think you're completely
and that's
wrong.
fine, but I don't necessarily equate the guy that doesn't ride roller coasters to having an opinion about how many roller coasters. Like, this is not what we all expected and signed up for in terms of thrilling.
This is exactly what I expected. I mean, I don't know.
I guess the way I look at it is, it's definitely going to be great from a storytelling aspect. It's not going to be a thrill ride. I agree with you there, Damon, is that, this is not, it's
not a roller coaster is really what this isn't.
Yeah, it's going to be a great experience, I think. But, again, I'm looking at it from the lens of, I haven't been to a lot of these other parks like you have, Damon. So I don't have any frame of reference to it. So to me, it will be good. I think it'll be a really great ride, and I'm sure that I will, go on it multiple times. But further to your point is, that they're not breaking any ground here.
No, they're not. Yeah. And I expected, like I said, a little bit more, especially if you're going to pretty much ruin EPCOT by bringing something like this that has nothing to do with what EPCOT was originally founded for here. At least let it be innovative. This is not innovative at all. And again, not to say that it's not going to be an enjoyable ride, but there's no innovation here. And I think that's where it's disappointing, especially when I thought we were going to get something new, something cool, something different. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, let me fly. Like get me something like I'd even take, even though this has already been done. Like if you look over at SeaWorld, the Manta, I think it is, where it's like you kind of like you're flying, or like the Superman ride at Six Flags. Like give me something like that, where those rides are a little too much, right? For some people. I mean, they're full on coasters and they're like, ooh, scary coasters. Give me a tamed down version of that. That would even be better than I think what we're getting. This is not a coaster. And I think that's where a family friendly storytelling coaster, dude, the word coaster shouldn't even exist in this ride. Like, give it the family friendly storytelling ride. But they're trying to sell me on something that is not groundbreaking. Sorry.
I just disagree.
If you went on a
whole
bunch
new
of
ride
coasters,
system that doesn't exist. I mean, that's groundbreaking.
But it exists.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
It doesn't.
Like
No, it doesn't.
Why
They have
doesn't
a
this
patent
exist
for this? It doesn't exist.
What is so? What are you trying to tell me doesn't exist? A rotating coaster that exists?
No, a coaster
You're trying
where
to tell
you
me
can
a coaster that
rotate
looks
it in
at
a specific
screens?
direction does not exist. No,
Spider-Man.
that's
It's
not a coaster.
literally the same thing, though.
It's
And
not
neither
a
is this.
coaster.
And either is this. That's the whole point.
This is a roller coaster.
If you closed your eyes and rode Spider-Man, which you never have, and you close your eyes and rode this, it is going to be the same thing.
Well, no, you
Just
can't
because
say that
that's
because
using
nobody's
an
written
arm?
it yet. It's not even open yet. It's not even done yet.
But it's the same thing as Harry Potter. It's not a coaster, but it mimics the same movements as a coaster.
I just don't think we can say anything about what the ride experience is going
I
to be
can't
like
even
without
listen to
actually
you
going
because you
on
haven't
it.
ridden any of these things, so I can't even listen.
I'm just saying you can't say what it's going to be like when it's not even open yet.
We've seen a point of view of it. I know exactly what it's going to feel like in terms of a coaster, right? We've already seen the POV. If we hadn't seen the POV, sure, I'd give you that. We've seen it. It's nothing. It's nothing. This is a huge disappointment for me. Disney,
Yeah,
I'm very disappointed.
I don't feel like you
because
can say
they
that
want
until
kids
it's
to
open.
be able to ride it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's
true.
a family. Yeah, of course.
Of course. And that's the whole point. You're at Epcot, ruining what Epcot is with a non-innovative ride.
That's
what this is.
I think we need to stop thinking about what Epcot was because
Oh yeah, it's not.
I can't listen. I can put Frozen in there. I can find a way to make Frozen work for me. I can.
Mhm.
I can. So what else besides that?
I mean, I guess you could say, this is space. I guess you could throw space.
I mean, the whole area that's going in is going to be, where Mission Space 220, all that. Yeah. So it does fall in line with it. But then, yeah, again, it's, bringing back in.
Throwing the Guardian stuff in.
Yeah.
I think this would have worked better as a space ride. Like, just if you took out Guardians of the Galaxy, I hate to say it. Yeah, they wouldn't have done that, and I get why they wouldn't have done that, but I think it would have felt better.
But then you would have had Mission Space and then a space roller coaster right next to it. And yeah,
I mean, a non-groundbreaking space roller coaster next to it. I get it.
I still think this is going to be more than you think. This is a launch coaster.
You've seen the point of view.
It's a 12-story building. I mean, it's not like, what do you think's in the rest of that building? I mean, it's a huge coaster.
Again, I can't talk to you about coasters, Tom. I'm sorry. I will defer to you saying that, okay, we'll wait and see. But I can't talk to the non-coaster guy about coasters. It just doesn't work.
I'm
reserving my judgment still.
It's not what I expected. Yeah. I expected there was those crazy drawings. I expected me to be
like
standing
that vertical
up.
loading.
Yeah,
you were gonna
that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
that would have been great. You would have had me on board with that. This is going to be a mishmash of, it's going to be a mishmash of multiple rides put together that makes it, quote, groundbreaking because it's never been done that specific way, but there's nothing new about it. We've seen it at Universal. We've seen this sort of thing at Universal.
Well, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. You're seeing the screen thing and the rotating vehicle thing.
Screen things are just so overplayed. It's one of the reasons that people knock Universal.
That's true.
Like King Kong. Dude, you know what? I have to, it's been a while since I've ridden King Kong, and I only rode it probably 3 times. The new one. The old one was awesome.
On ride of that. It looked terrible.
Oh, the old one was so good.
The old one was cool.
So good. This one, I feel like is going to be, it's like the same thing. You're on a coaster track. I'm looking at screens. And I don't even like Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's the other knock.
Again, I guess that's part of it too. Is Guardians, is definitely a favorite in our household. So we're riding it based on the IP.
If it was DuckTales, I'd be more excited about it.
You'd be all in for DuckTales.
I don't know if I'd be. I mean, I wouldn't call it groundbreaking, but I'd be more excited for it. I mean, this literally took away one of my favorite rides.
Well, there's also that too. You're also a little bitter about that.
Oh, 100%. Like it had to be super awesome for it to knock Ellen.
But
maybe Ellen will have a cameo in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe.
If there's an Ellen cameo, they could get me on board again.
They do try to do that usually, so...
Ellen as a space creature? Maybe.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. I mean, to your point, though, like, Ellen was groundbreaking at the time, but, by the time it shut down, it wasn't groundbreaking.
But it didn't matter. We're talking about the launch. You're not putting me in the future and asking me about Guardians of the Galaxy 10 years from now. When Ellen launched, it was like, oh, right? Like, who wants to ride this over Tron?
Yeah, I mean this is a whole different experience, right?
But that's what I'm saying. For coaster people,
it's down the list. It is down the list from Tron.
Yeah, you keep putting it as a coaster, which again, it's got a track, so they're within their legal rights to call it a coaster. But I'm not riding this over Tron. Like, and it's not even close. It's not even like I'm like, oh, I want to ride them both so much. Like, I don't even think I'm riding this if I have my choice between what's it called, the Runaway Train. I'd rather ride that than this. It's not thrilling enough. And that's what they did. When you have a coaster and what you're doing, it's too family friendly for me.
I gotcha. I mean, there's, again, I don't know what this is going to look like. It's going to be a launch coaster. It's going to be a backwards launch at one point. We don't know how
I've never done that before.
Be.
What?
It won't be fast enough.
It's never going to be.
You don't know that. We don't know that.
Oh, I do know that. It's not going to be that fast.
It says family friendly.
But it's going to look faster than it is anyway because of the projection screens. It's the same thing with, Space Mountain only goes 25 miles per hour. But it looks a lot faster because you're in the dark and they, mess with your head.
How do you know?
I know because I know about coasters.
Oh, okay. Right? That's the whole thing. You don't know. That's the whole point.
I'm sorry, Tom, but you haven't... Space Mountain definitely has its own thing going on, but it's not like...
Space Mountain's thing is that it roughs you up like you're in a boxing match. That's Space Mountain's thing. And that's enjoyable.
My point is that they mess with your head. They make you feel like you're going faster than you are. That's what the point is. That's what they're going to do here, too.
I don't feel that on Space Mountain. I don't feel the same way on Space Mountain that I do on Big Thunder Mountain.
Exactly.
That's fine. I'm just telling you of what they're going for here. All right, this is what they're trying to do. They try to make you feel like you're going faster than you are.
I just want to go fast. I don't want to be tricked.
I don't
want you to trick me. There's no reason to trick me. Don't trick me. Disney, don't trick me. I don't need to be tricked.
That's what the designers of Space Mountain were trying to do, though. They're trying to trick you into going faster than you are. Make you think you're going faster than you are.
No, it's just a beat up ride. That's what I feel.
And it's just a beat up ride.
And it's
like
more. It's less about the speed and more about the fact that you feel like your head's going to be taken off at any moment by the.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true, Trevor.
That's where the fear comes in Space Mountain.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right. Well, we're like way over time, and we have a ton of stuff still to talk about.
That's okay.
I'm glad we didn't do listener questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a good call. So. We don't even really need to talk about this Spaceship Earth thing too much. It's just, they showed it in the concept art, but I guess they're going to be doing some like cool stuff with the lighting on the.
I'm super excited about this.
I am too. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
this is cool because it's one of those things where I don't have to wait around. I just see it, take my picture, and keep it moving, and that's the nice part about this.
It's just, it's instead of just having it, what was it, like lit up? I feel like it was lit up like purple at night almost, right?
Yeah, it's got that purple and orange hue to it right now.
Yeah, like if you look at the concept art, it's going to be a lot different,
cool.
Right? It's going to be a bunch
and
of
the fountain
colors.
too.
What's that?
And the fountain too.
Yeah, the fountain too.
And I hope that if they're doing a custom lighting package, I feel that they're definitely setting this up so that they can do seasonal things with it, or that you'll get, unique, like you were saying, you take your picture with it, but then the next time you come back, they may be doing something entirely different with it.
Yeah. We need Charles to go and take some pictures of this.
Yes.
I need to meet Charles. Listen, I need to meet Charles at Disney just so he can like take pictures for me. That's all I'm saying.
Charles did some really good photos this week. If you guys aren't in the Facebook group, go look, because shout out to Charles for your great photography.
I enjoyed his Skyliner picture the most, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I was feeling the Main Street picture with the parade coming down. That was really good.
He takes really good pictures. He's definitely got an eye for that stuff. So, other things. So we were talking about the mysterious construction they were doing at Italy. It looks like that's going to be a gelato location, which I'm all for.
I would agree. Was there one there before? I don't even remember.
I feel like
there was gelato somewhere.
Gelato there before, yeah.
But wasn't it just like a booth, though? It wasn't like a full-on...
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember, but this is going to be a little quick service location that looks like it's going to be all around gelato. So
I feel like hopefully it's not too small.
It does look like it's going to be small.
It just how many flavors you bring into the table every day. That's the big question.
How many flavors do you want?
I want 10. I want 10.
At least 10?
I want 10, and I don't want BS flavors. You know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean.
I want blood orange. You know what I mean? I want pistachio. I don't want vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and then keep it moving. I want good stuff. And then I want some ones that I'm ooh, do I really want that? That's what I want. I want some of those.
I got some gelato recently. It was Captain Crunch gelato. So you're saying no Captain
that's
Crunch
garbage.
gelato?
No Captain Crunch gelato.
Don't get crazy.
Tom is destroying this episode for me. He's he's really hurting my feelings.
What's wrong with Captain Crunch?
Not in my gelato.
No, it was just gelato that tasted like Captain Crunch. It was really good.
You're in Italy. Think about if you're in real Italy.
I'm not saying they should bring Captain Crunch gelato to Italy. I think they should keep it legit.
La Capitan Crunch over there? I don't know.
No, I don't think they should do that. This was just a random gelato place I was at. I'm not saying they should do that for this. I think they should keep it authentic.
You're hating this episode, Damon. I'm loving this.
This is a fun episode.
Yeah.
So, 10 flavors. That's what I would like. If they can do 10 flavors, you can give me the classics, a few different ones, but blood orange has to be there. Has to.
Has to be there.
I just ordered the blood orange Kit Kats from Japan. It has to be there. Wait, Trevor, you get the Japan candy boxes, right?
Yep.
Did you get the caramel Pepsi yet?
No, I haven't tried that yet.
Is your December coming with caramel?
No, I don't get the one with the drink in it. So, yeah.
Very disappointing.
I was looking at some of that stuff though. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, I was curious about the caramel Pepsi. That's all.
It sounds pretty delicious.
It does.
Japan has all kinds of amazing flavors of soda
we've done
stuff.
Yeah, we ordered and Kit Kats. That's their big thing. So I ordered a bunch of different Kit Kats. I'm excited for the blood orange ones for sure.
Do you guys want to go to this next topic?
Yes.
So that Harmonious show that's coming out, the barges for it are not going to go backstage during the day. They're just going to sit in the lagoon and be like gigantic fountains. I think this is awesome. I love this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, the lake has needed a little bit more action going on in it, I think.
The pictures definitely make it look good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concept art of it looks awesome, right? If those are just going to sit there all day like that, maybe I'm assuming they're going to do different things. I'm assuming. It's
I don't even care if they do different things.
No, just a fountain in the middle of that lake. It needs it if you think about it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's a good idea. I'm glad they're doing this. I think it's a smart move.
People are mad about this, by the way, on the web. Just I don't know if you know
about the fountains.
Yeah, they're calling Disney lazy and the fact that they don't want to bring the things in every night. And I think this is cool, though.
Well, I don't think this is lazy at all. I think this was part of
I think they should spray you if you ride the barge across the... What's it called? Across the... To go to Italy, the barge that goes across. I think they should spray you with water.
What, like you're going to go by on the boat and it's going to spray you?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be funny.
Good. Next, we can talk about another trash ride.
You just don't like anything because it's screen oriented.
Well,
this is the only reason the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will open in Epcot in 2021. Because it's not trying to be anything other than it is, so I'm okay with it. And it makes sense. I mean, again, even though it's a cooking mouse, right? I understand that doesn't fit Epcot because it's in France. It makes it feel better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where the other Dum Dum ride is just sitting out in, La La Land. So I'm not super looking forward to this, but it's not trying to play itself off than anything other than it is. So,
sure. I get what you're saying.
I'm okay, I guess, with this.
But I mean, there are a lot of practical effects in this ride. I mean, it is a screen-based ride, but they do have like giant food items and giant set items too. So it's not just all screens, I guess.
Well, and again, that it's not inventing anything new either, because it is, just a copy of the ride from Paris. So
yeah, it's essentially the same exact ride. So.
But it doesn't feel bad because it's also a ride that didn't replace anything.
That's right. It's brand
Randy
new.
spanking new.
Yeah, didn't get rid of your favorite ride ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a +1. It's not a trade. So yeah, I can't argue.
I mean, again, it's difficult though. If you were to offer me back Ellen or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I don't know. That would be tough, man. I don't know which one.
Let me say this. The last time I went on the submarines in Disneyland,
yeah,
I wasn't feeling it. They don't feel as good as I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you actually want 20,000 Leagues back.
So you're trying to say it's nostalgic memories?
What if they were both upgraded, though? Which one would I want back?
Well, how would you upgrade the submarine?
Or Ellen.
Oh, my goodness. I thought we had a wait list about this.
About how
the submarines? Yeah, I went on the wait list talking about the submarines. How would you update Ellen? Put all Navi River Ride animatronic level characters in Ellen, and that would be a huge upgrade.
And then basically make a dinosaur at that point, though.
And then you take the whole seating area and turn it into the
reclining seats.
We did do a whole episode about
this. No, the
reclining seats.
Moving the trackless ride system as well, so that you can break everything off and move it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What if they had reclining seats at Ellen though?
I mean, then you just fall asleep though. Like that's
Ellen's napping adventure.
Exactly.
I just you'd fall asleep immediately.
That would be the best.
I feel that Disney's missing out on a market here for people that just want a place.
Just want to nap.
Yeah.
Could you make like a napping ride that just was like
just quiet and calm?
No, and you had like the lighting, the meditation-y like lights, and you're going through wait, do they sometimes I put my parks together. Disney doesn't have a walk-through shark thing, right? Or do they?
What do you mean by
shark tunnel?
Shark no.
But like something like that, like put me in like a walk-through fish tunnel like that. Yeah, that would be a great napping experience. But how long does it have to be?
I mean, I think it needs at least 20 minutes to a half hour, I think.
Okay.
But then
to get a good power nap.
The problem is that then at the end of this ride, that poor cast member has to be waking people up. And then
No. Foghorn.
Yeah.
I think. So like a tugboat. So like you're going through the water, and then all of a sudden there's a tugboat. And
I was just thinking there's like a cast member with like a long like stick, and they're just poking people as they get to the end.
Feather on your nose.
Oh, there you go. It's reminding me of my childhood at Six Flags Great Adventure. Damon, I don't know if you ever went when you were a kid, but when they had the drive-through safari.
What did you even do at Six Flags?
Not much, but
okay, I was curious.
They had the drive-through safari, and there was somebody whose job was just to like knock monkeys off the car.
Yes. Did you remember people would go there with the old Cadillacs with the vinyl roofs? Oh yeah.
And they would come out with their cars destroyed, it totally destroyed, because these monkeys at the end would just jump all over your car and just rip them to pieces. But there was somebody at the end whose job was they just had a big long stick and they'd just be knocking monkeys off your car.
Yep. I'm really surprised though, because Six Flags didn't have a lot of tame rides.
I mean, I go on the Runaway Train there, and some of the other stuff. I used to go on Skull Mountain there, which is I guess kind of close to. I mean, not the same as Space Mountain, but it's a dark roller coaster inside. I mean, I used to go on that. No, I don't know. It's been a long time.
What roller coaster hurt you, Tom?
What's that?
What roller coaster hurt you?
What do you mean, which roller coaster hurt me? What traumatized
Trevor
me?
gets it, yeah.
No.
Trevor gets it. What roller coaster hurt you, Tom?
I don't know. Just let me think about that. we used to go to Dorney Park.
I mean, the fact that
kid too in Allentown. So
yeah, but the fact that you went on Skull Mountain. Well, first of all, I just don't believe it unless you have.
Oh yeah, no, I used to go on that all the time when I was.
Okay, you show me a picture of you with like on Skull Mountain, because the thing is that Skull Mountain is 10 times worse than Space Mountain.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
So again, what hurts you? Like, who hurt
honestly,
you?
There's no like thing where I'm like, just don't want to go.
I mean, were you scared at Skull Mountain?
No, not at all.
Trevor, Google.
I'm absolutely
we're getting
into
some
Space
deep
Mountain.
psychological areas here.
Trevor, I need you to look at Skull Mountain and tell me that that's not worse than Space Mountain.
No, it definitely it probably is. I would
It's got a
assume
skull on it. It's not.
It's a big giant building that's a skull. Yeah. No, listen. What I like I've said, I have no issue. It's just never been a priority for me to go on Space Mountain, but I'm happy to go on it. I'll go on it. Like
that's not true. There's no such thing as a priority for not going on Space Mountain.
There's lots of other things I'd rather do at Magic Kingdom than Space Mountain. That's all. I mean, my wife also doesn't love it either. So
Trevor, you don't understand. I don't understand either, so it's okay.
It's not. Listen, like I said,
you're watching this point of view of Skull Mountain, aren't you? And going,
I am, but
I can't believe this.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm back at there's better things to do in Tomorrowland than Space Mountain.
I didn't say Tomorrowland. I said in Magic Kingdom.
Okay, that's worse. That's worse. This is
The last time I tried to go on it, my wife didn't want to go. She was, comes off it with like a sore neck, so she said she didn't want to go. And I was
she's been on it.
Is there a single rider? I can't remember if they do single rider.
Probably should do that. Yeah.
No, it's called standing in line by yourself.
Yeah,
it's.
I could have done that. You're right.
Getting one fast pass for yourself.
Now I want to look up a POV of Skull Mountain. It's been so long. I mean, it's been.
I'm
forever.
watching. Dude, this is
legit, right, Trevor?
Yeah.
I mean,
again, I don't necessarily. And Trevor, here's the thing: I don't really believe he went on it.
I absolutely. So. I mean, I don't know how to prove it other than getting my sister on here to tell you that we used to go on it all the time. But
I mean, listen, sisters can be easily paid off. Obviously, you got a great present last year, so obviously she'd come on and say that you wrote it. I mean, you got a great present.
No, I used to go on it all the time when I was a kid. I mean, I'm being totally honest about this. Yeah, that was the ride that when I used to go on. I mean, and the runaway train too at Great Adventure too. Yeah, that was a frequent. You could probably argue that that's worse. That's got probably a bigger drop than Space Mountain does anywhere. But
yeah, but Skull Mountain was kind of like inside-y-ish.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally inside. It's totally in the dark.
Well, there's outside-ish of that too. There is no outside of Space Mountain.
Yeah, Space Mountain has no outside whatsoever. And again, like I said, it's not the drops or anything in Space Mountain that are the scariest thing.
it's the random metal that could come off and slice your neck off.
Yeah, I mean,
which it's not going to do, by the way. But
no, it's not. It's just the threat of it.
Yeah, it plays into like honestly. After I watched, was it Final Destination 3? I was leery about going on Space Mountain after that. If you've ever watched those movies, they're ridiculous, but
I have not. But yeah, this is bring back some memories. I'm watching some of these videos here. Yeah.
All right, Castle of Magical Dreams at Hong Kong Disneyland. I think it looks awesome. By the way,
yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Is it small? So again, since I've never been, is it smaller castle than the one at Disney World?
I think it used to be, but I think with this change now it might be bigger. With the new version.
Cool. Yeah. I like the way that they have it set up too. With like it's
a stage
hedges in between.
Oh, it looks like
what is that in between? Like are those it's seating? No, take a look at the picture on the front. And there's it's hedges, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look like hedges, yeah. And there's a stage there, too, because they do the stage shows.
I mean, that's awesome.
Well, yeah. Oh, look, there's a different picture where it's a little more overhead. You can see the hedges there, Damon, if you scroll down a little.
So I'm going to knock on this that you can't walk through it.
Yeah, there's that.
You can't get to where those hedges are?
No, you can get where the hedges are, but then there's no way to actually get up to the entrance to the castle. I
don't care about that.
I think walking. You can, though. You can't get up there? I thought you could.
No, he's saying you can't walk through it, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. There doesn't look like a way to walk. Like, it looks like it's just
somebody else that's been, please let us know if there is.
Yeah, because none of us have been to Hong Kong Disneyland, but
But how could you see the inside of it? There's pictures of the inside. How would you see the inside if there was no walkthrough?
You could. Are you seeing the inside? I'm only seeing pictures.
Seeing some royal reception halls. Keep going down. There's all pictures of the inside. What is this that I'm looking at?
There's all these different. The cool thing about this castle, though, is it doesn't represent one particular. They have all these different spires that represent all the different princesses, which is kind of cool. And they kind of they don't like stand out where it looks bad. You know, like they figured out a good way to make them all
very cool. But we have the biggest thing to talk about that we haven't even talked about yet, which is crazy.
No, I put it last.
Tom,
Oh my goodness.
Tom.
Yeah.
Park hopping returning to Walt Disney World on January 1, 2021. So
Limited park hopping.
Limited.
Yeah.
If Tom put limited
you can go in here,
there,
Trevor, by the way. There's a rotunda, so you can go in. Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, starting January 1, 21, there will be a reservation system, but you can only go in after 2 p.m. Guests with annual pass or park hopper tickets will be able to head over to another park. Park capacity is not being increased, blah, 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 blah. All the things that you would fully expect with park hopping. So I think the big thing to take out of this is reservation and after 2 p.m., right? Those are the big things.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I wouldn't park hop all that. I mean, we park hopped for sure, but after 2 p.m. seems like a fine time. Like, I'm okay with that. That doesn't hurt me at all. Like, I'm all right with that. 2 p.m. each day. The reservation system, okay. Got it. And the reason they're doing this is because it makes sense. You cannot park hop to Hollywood Studios and try to get the second reservation for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
So anyone asking why 2 p.m., that is why 2 p.m.
That makes sense.
So.
Yeah, this all makes sense. And I mean, I figured they were eventually going to allow it again. It just, they had to figure out the cadence of it and the technical, way to do it. But this makes sense. They're going to, they're just going to have a park reservation. And, the only thing that stinks about this is I feel like park hopping is a very like spur of the moment thing for us anyway. It's always been like a spontaneous, like, hey, you want to pop over to Epcot, like go get a drink or whatever. Like, this kind of takes the spontaneousness out of it. But I mean, this is better than nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, for us, this works in ideally with our way of doing it because it would always be, spend a morning at one park and then by lunchtime, you have lunch. We would usually go back to our room for a little bit, have a bit of a break. And then by the time you're ready to go to the next park, it's getting towards, like 3-4 o'clock. So you're getting into, dinner time, going into the evening at another park. So yeah, I mean, this is perfect as far as I'm concerned. I don't, park hopping, I get everybody has their own way of doing it. This doesn't interfere with my plans enough that, I care. Like to me, they could just say park hopping came back and ignoring all of these details, I would be like, fine, that's perfect for me.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see park hopping coming back. I think it's a good thing, and I'm glad to see it. I mean, I don't think this is going to be like this forever, right? So it's just how it is for now, and it's better than nothing.
And again, it doesn't really like factoring in their whole reservation system. That it's not that the parks are going to suddenly be crazy busy after 2 p.m. because it still requires you to have a reservation at another park. So there is still limitations on the reservation system. So I guess for anybody looking at this, keep that in mind, is that it's not that they're just, opening it wide open after 2 p.m. as you still have to have been in another park. You can't just show up after 2 p.m. and count that as park hopping.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That was a shorter conversation than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I think because we all agreed that it was,
Yeah, that time works for most of us, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up then, since we've had enough of this episode.
I guess I'm sure our listeners will be glad they got more time on this one.
This is the longest 1 hour episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, this got long real fast.
Well, and I think there was a lot of things that we wanted to talk about here, and obviously we went down our usual rabbit holes, but I think it was overdue. I think we've all been waiting for some news from Disney, so I'm glad that we got a chance to really dive into it this week.
Yeah. Are we doing an episode next week? Or are we waitlisting? Don't you guys have a waitlist? Wait, I kind of jumped on that too. Did we already use that?
No, we have a wait list in our pockets if we want to use it.
Oh.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, Thanksgiving's Thursday, so I mean, we can do our normal.
You guys.
You know what?
Your Thanksgiving is just.
Yeah, Trevor's like, I don't care. Yeah. I think we have to wait list over Christmas. I think we wait list Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
For everyone that's curious. But here's the question: Can we get everyone? Can we get the family on before? We need a family episode. Can we do a family episode in December? Is that
we want
possible?
To do family? Okay, yeah.
Is that possible to get everyone in this room around the mic? Is that even possible?
I mean,
I have the hardest time with that. You guys might have it a little bit easier.
I mean, I could probably make that work. We could probably.
So here's what it's going to be, everybody.
Well, we were going to do a video episode though too. Remember? So
I'm not doing a video episode. All right. So this is what we're doing, everybody. If you guys submit a question that you think, because I know that Kristen actually, even though we won't answer this question, just said she liked hearing about the family. Ask us a question that everyone in the family can come on and answer. We'll pick one, and then I might have to pay my kids to get on and answer, but I will see if I can get everyone on to answer one question.
There you go.
Yeah. I think I haven't cleared this with my wife yet, but I'm sure she would be down to come and talk on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
One question, though.
One question. Because, this will get chaotic if we have too many things going on.
And Tom, you have to teach your daughter how to speak. Wait, how old is she now?
She's 2.5. She can speak, but she's not. She's not going to put together a coherent sentence on something.
You just got to get her to say one word.
Okay.
And then she gets cookies after. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's. That sounds good. I could do that. I can make it happen.
Tom, you might have to pre-record it if she's not up for, if she's napping or something. But.
Well, we do record this during her nap time. That's part.
You'll just have to, but that makes it easier for you. Just record it sometime earlier because you might need a few takes on it anyway, and then you can put it right in.
There you go. All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay. All right, let's do this. All right, as usual, if you guys have any questions for us, if you have comments, you ever want to reach out to us. Make sure you send us an email at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We always love hearing from you guys, and we get a lot of great listener questions that way. If you are on Facebook, you can also find us there as Welcome Home Podcast, and we do have the Facebook group, which is the Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. If you aren't in there already, you should get in there because that's where we have a lot of great conversations. Listener questions come from there, so if you want to get, again, that's a good way to get listener questions on the show if you have something you want to ask us. And if you also want to check out our YouTube channel, we're on there as Welcome Home Podcast as well. The things like the last live show that we did are on there. And as we do more live streams and stuff in the future, you'll be able to see that stuff. And hopefully when we get going back to the parks, you'll be able to see some of the stuff from there as well. If you have Instagram, you can find us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Damon does some great posts over there that you honestly, I don't know how Instagram works. So yeah, whatever you guys do on Instagram, make sure you follow over there because that's a good way to keep up with us. And if you want some merchandise, so we have masks, we have t-shirts, mugs, stuff like that, make sure you check out the store, which is store.welcomehomepodcast.com. Pick up some merch for the podcast for maybe your next trip. If you want to have a Welcome Home mask for your next trip, that would be really cool. And as usual, if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, any of those platforms, make sure you leave us a review because we do check those reviews and we like getting the feedback, and it also helps other people find the podcast.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts. You can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, as always, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own, so please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you to DVC Rental Store for sponsoring this episode. Please check them out if you want to rent out your points or you want to rent points. And, join us next time for more Disney park discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl. Look out, here comes my